Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Look, there's no way that I was not going to talk about this. I know a lot of you have heard what's going on when it comes to what was 10 or 11 scientists who have mysteriously passed away or who are missing. And now, look, a lot of you have been watching my videos, my sci-fi videos, when it comes to aliens, alien disclosure, reptilians, werewolves, all types of stuff, okay? And I used to watch Ancient Aliens, like many of you, all the time. And now a 12th, David Wilcock, I know he was on Ancient Aliens. I'm not sure if he was a scientist, but I know he was deeply into the UFO community and writing books about it and everything. He was very popular. And I also found out that there are two other scientists or authors and everything who were on Ancient Aliens who have also passed away. And look, this is just, I'm trying to get my thoughts together because when I saw that David Wilcock has passed away, everybody knows something's up. Something's up. I don't know what it is, but something is up. They're claiming that he took his own life just the other day, but he had said that he loved life. He wasn't going to do something like that. And he even spoke on the scientists recently missing and everything. And now all of a sudden they're claiming that, oh, he took his life. A lot of people aren't buying that. We have Amy Escridge. She's the scientist. She made videos. This was in about 2020, 2022. She was working on something about anti-gravity. People have a lot of theories saying that they were working on free energy. They were into, some of them were studying comets and asteroids, UFOs and everything like that. She has a couple of videos that she made that's on TikTok where she claimed that there are two types of groups, the P-47s and the P-52s. She says, I guess maybe they obviously made contact or something. She said that the P-47, those are the humans from 47,000 years ahead of us, or later on, the future. And the P-52s are 52,000 years in the future. She says that there's some sort of very near calamity, apocalyptic type of calamity that's happening during our time, I guess, and they're from the future. And that the aliens that you think they all look like the Greys and everything. Well, maybe they do, but she says the aliens are us from the future. She also said that advanced technology was burning her hands on the when she was typing. She had said that she felt like her life was in danger. So people are talking. I'm going to share with you the videos, what people are saying, what they think is going on. There are a lot of theories going on. I don't know for sure. I always say is sometimes it's stuff more bigger and deeper than what you possibly could have thought that it was. I don't know, but I know something is up. Something is up. We were already thinking that I covered the story of another scientist and now David Wilcock. So a lot of people believe that there's some sort of comet or asteroid hypothesis or something like that that's supposed to come in 2029 in August. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know from all the movies I've seen, like Knowing and Deep Impact and all these things, is that typically if something is happening, the government is not going to tell you until about 24 to 48 hours before it's coming and there's nothing you can do. I'm not saying that it is. There are a lot of people who have their opinions about what they think happened to them. Some people think they're underground in a bunker because something's coming. Other people think they're time travelers and they went to the future, or it's all staged and it's not, they're alive somewhere else. Other people said no. Do you believe David Wilcock ended his own life? I don't believe that at all. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't know what's going on, but I want to share with you right now the opinions from various people, okay? And this could be dangerous. This is something serious when you see very high profile scientists and people getting wiped off the planet. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to share the videos now of what other people think is happening or just their opinions about this. Let's get into it.
So another scientist was basically announced that she was found ended at 34 years old, which is very, very young. That's very suspicious. And she basically publicly warned her life was in danger, which is insane, over groundbreaking work tied to UAP technology. And basically people figured out that one of her past YouTube videos literally had her explaining what she found. Ultra extraterrestrials are us from the future. So that's what she was claiming, and basically these posts are getting millions of views. And guys, as you know, this guy literally passed away, and he literally collaborated with NASA to detect water molecules in distant planets and their atmospheres and basically like stuff like that. He was basically fatally ended outside his California home that was literally in the middle of nowhere. So if you're not telling me that's someone else by a 3-letter agency, I don't know what is. But anyways, guys, what do y'all think of some of the comments? I mean, I think news reporters are literally asking Trump, like, why do scientists randomly just end up like this? Kind of weird, guys. What do y'all think? Everything in this video that I stated is allegedly in my opinion.
Guys, the FBI, the Pentagon, the White House, and Congress have all now officially opened up a brand new investigation. There are scientists that are directly connected to NASA, nuclear weapons, and classified military programs that keep on going missing, and nobody knows why.
The FBI is investigating possible connections in the cases of 10 missing or dead scientists and staff who worked at sensitive nuclear or space technology.
So ever since 2022, 11 different scientists that are connected to America's most classified programs have now gone missing under suspicious circumstances. And I cannot believe I'm about to say this right now, but the FBI just confirmed that they are officially looking for connections between all of them. 2 different employees from the same exact nuclear weapons lab vanished weeks apart. Both of them left behind their car, their keys, their wallet, and their phone, and one of their phones was actually factory reset before they disappeared. A NASA engineer just randomly vanished off the planet while hiking and they were never found, and then a retired Air Force general walked out of his house and was never seen again. Those 2 people actually worked together on the same exact classified program. Hello? One of them was actually a military intelligence officer who worked for DARPA. He was gone right before he was supposed to testify to Congress about UFOs, and his cause was never confirmed. And on Kalshi right now, people have bet almost $100,000 that the government is going to confirm that aliens exist before 2027. I am going to keep on watching this story. This is obviously insane, so make sure you add me now so you don't miss any updates.
You're telling me that David Wilcock, a prominent UFO researcher, an author of very specific books, might I mention, and a disclosure advocate, reportedly himself yesterday, which was April 20th in Colorado, and nobody finds this to be suspicious. We're talking about not only a prolific researcher, but also a lecturer, a filmmaker, even a New York Times best-selling author. We're talking about the dude that not only claimed telepathic ET contact, but also somebody that served as the director of advanced technology. He promoted next-gen military fighters, exotic propulsion, also advanced aerospace concepts. Now, who does that sound like? Kind of sounds like Amy Escridge, you know, the scientist who was only 34 years old, the scientist who was openly researching and trying to develop anti-gravity technology, the scientist that in 2022, might I mention, died from a self-inflicted gun you know what. Keep in mind, neither the police nor medical examiners have publicly released any details of an investigation ever taking place. Did you know that Amy Escridge herself claimed to have co-founded the Institute of Exotic Science? Also the same woman who said this on a podcast, saying if you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed and it won't even make the news. That's why the institute exists, she warned. However, like it says here, the Institute for Exotic Science is apparently closed since its co-founder's death and its website is no longer accessible. We're now talking about 13 different individuals dating all the way back to 2022. This should be breaking news.
Anti-gravity, jet propulsion, disclosure, or fuel-efficient engines. All 4 of them. All 4 of them will get you killed. All 4 of them. And the reason I know this is because this has been going on since the 60s and 70s. People coming up with ideas and getting patents for them. That will get you killed. Okay, it's not just the people in NASA. It's not just the people at JPL. It's people that have their own businesses. It doesn't matter. As soon as you start making waves, they'll approach you, especially if you file for a patent for any four of those things, right? Parts or anything. What they do is they say, hey, I seen your patent. I seen you requested a patent. Why don't you sell it to me? Why don't you sell it to us over here at the military? And what do most people do? They say no, because they know that if they sell it to the military is going to shelve it. We will never see it out in the public. They want the public to see it. They want to make money like that, right? So what happens? The same thing. The tale is as old as time. Well, first, they're approached. They're threatened, okay? You still don't sell. Sometimes even if you do sell, they come in, they ransack your office, they ransack your lab, steal all your work, and you end up dead. There have been people since the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s that have been making fuel-efficient engines, okay? They file for patents. These people are never seen again. Okay, I did a video on it a while back before any of this started. They're never seen again. The one guy had made it so efficient that all you needed was a drop of water to make your engine run. It didn't even have to be purified water, right? He filed for a patent. They tried to buy it from him. He said no, right? He's eating lunch at a restaurant with his brother. He goes running out of the restaurant screaming, "They poisoned me," before he collapses. Dies. End of story. Another guy did one, and I think his was just, it moved on its own, like it refueled itself somehow. Remember, energy, you just have to learn how to dictate it because it can't be destroyed or anything like that, right? He told them no. His lab was ransacked, all of his stuff was stolen, and he was found with a needle in his arm. Never touched drugs a day in his life, but I don't have to tell you that. This has been going on for years. Now, these new ones, yes, it's connected to anti-gravity and the jet propulsion, and now disclosure. David was on Ancient Aliens, and Nick pushing for disclosure for years, decades even. But something is going on right now that they're cleaning house.
Frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary. I got to say, it's a little bit scary. But you guys knew that I might still show up even though it was last minute and I've had a really rough week. Like, you know, that's kind of like every week. But somehow we keep on making it through all of this. I really wish there were other influencers out there doing global meditations, but right now it seems like I'm the only one. And so we gotta keep on track, you guys. I need other people out there doing this for me because I don't want to be a single point failure. If anything ever happened to me, God forbid, you know, we don't want that to happen, but I want other people to be doing this as well, not just me.
Wow, my mind is blown. It is not just David Wilcock that has just passed away, but other experts and colleagues in his field have also passed away. And they were all associated or featured in the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. And now it's caused plasma physicist John Brandenburger. He posted this AI image and this message that says, "Dear friends, I have been told I am in danger as an anti-gravity and Mars investigator. But I tell you now that all humanity is now in danger. But so are the cover-up helpers. I urge a blanket amnesty for all in the cover-up who end it. Take this amnesty while you still can." Now, this is considered a conspiracy theory. It is what Dr. John Brandenburger is alleging. But we also have a scientist who was working on anti-gravity. Anti-gravity, isn't that what Amy Escridge, one of the scientists who allegedly took her own life, was working on? You remember Amy, she's one of the scientists who have mysteriously disappeared or passed away. Yes, she was working on anti-gravity. And if you watch the videos I've posted of her, she was claiming that she was about to allegedly expose it to the public via her Institute of Exotic Science in Huntsville. So if Dr. John Brandenburger has also been researching anti-gravity and Mars, I think it's legitimate for him to feel scared. So the rabbit hole took me down to this. All these men are linked to the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, and they have all allegedly passed away. And you guys know that I have to say allegedly, right? And I have to say that this could all be a conspiracy theory. It is all alleged. A ton of other professionals and colleagues from the show, including Nick Pope and Eric Von Daniken.
13 missing scientists connected to NASA, UFOs, nuclear programs. David Wilcock is the most recent, no longer with us, as of this past Monday. You may have known him from the show Ancient Aliens. He told us that he wasn't going anywhere, and yet here we are. Wilcock was a believer in UFOs, said that the powers that be have intel on UFOs but aren't sharing it. He believed UFOs could be anything from advanced human technology to aliens to demons. He also believed the universe was alive, powered by a fundamentally good force, but always at war against evil. Some very philosophical stuff, but interesting. Let's take a listen.
Ultimately, the universe is intelligent, alive, and conscious, and it is benevolent. It is a benevolent consciousness. That consciousness does not allow the negative to succeed unless it is invited. So the cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music videos, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremonies.
It may all seem so out there, but what are the odds that he posts that he wants to go on living? And then this happens. Was he on to something that the rest of us can't see? Who did it threaten? And is he tied to a broader pattern of missing scientists and researchers? Let me know your thoughts.
As I said, I do not believe David Wilcock would have taken his own life based upon his character and what he has said in the past about doing something like that. That said, I want to make it clear that I have questioned David Wilcock and Corey Goodman and all these other mainstream people in the so-called disclosure movement, because I believe it is most likely that they're part of the controlled disclosure. And simply because they're mainstream, first of all, why have they been allowed to do all this for so long? Why would suddenly all of these scientists and other people that are part of disclosure start disappearing and ending up, so, the way my brain works is I'm very skeptical, and I believe that this has been a controlled, planned event that would lead everyone to this ultimate alien agenda where there's a worldwide threat, where one individual acts as a savior who steps up and saves everyone. And this most likely would be AI or someone who is in control of AI. It's not about whether or not there are other beings. Of course, there are other worldly beings. There are other beings all around us that we've never seen before, in the ocean, in the sky, microscopic beings that you've never seen. And that's not the point. It's making such a big deal out of the alien that came here from some other planet on a spaceship. That's the bullshit part of this. Because, first of all, there is no getting on a spaceship and linearly traveling to another planet. And without getting into that, let me just say, even if you could do that, why would they do that, since they apparently have the technology to move through portals, wormholes, time travel, things like that? It doesn't make any sense. And why would they look like Nordic, blonde-haired, blue-eyed people? Now, a lot of people say, well, that's because we came from them. But if that were the case, they're not aliens. They're just us, right? But then you have to ask yourself, why have they been sitting here watching us suffer for so long? Why now? Why is it right now, when the masses have woken up and they're starting to rebel, as was predicted? Like, the elitists knew this would happen, right? Why now are they suddenly going, oh yeah, there are aliens and they're here and there's going to be a war between the good aliens and the bad aliens? You see how that indicates this was planned. And we do know that von Braun said the last card that they would play would be the alien card. So, you just have to use your brain a little bit. Honestly, with all the things going on, people disappearing, and it turns out they may not have been unalived in the first place. I don't know if that's what really happened or not to David, but you can see that all these different scientists and people from the disclosure movement are disappearing. So to me, what that means is that they're getting ready to take this to the next level, trying to instill as much fear as possible, to bring down your energy as much as possible, to remove people that you looked up to, that you were following, and just completely destroy your morale.
This is going to blow your mind. It wasn't just David Wilcock who just passed away, but his co-writer for his book passed away 2 days before him. His name is Winfrey, and he was David Wilcock's biographer. And I repeat, he reportedly passed away just 2 days before David Wilcock. Remember, David is now the number 12 of the missing scientists and researchers. This is the book that Winfrey co-wrote with David Wilcock. And there have been a bunch of other people who are on the same show as David Wilcock, a show called Ancient Aliens. And they've all passed away too, allegedly. Are we thinking about all the researchers and scientists connected to the defense programs, aerospace? Keep in mind, this is all a conspiracy. This is all alleged. And just 2 days ago, he posted that video talking about how it's scary that these scientists are missing. He says he's grateful for every day that he has on Earth, that he basically loves his life. If you click above on that comment, you'll see the video I posted. The book examined parallels between Wilcock and clairvoyant Edgar Cayce, covering theories of reincarnation, unaliving, and Wilcock's broader belief that he was Cayce reborn. This is an old post by David Wilcock. He said he planned on living. He did not want to take his own life, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real, he said. Is this just a coincidence, a weird twist of faith? Are we thinking about everyone? Are we possibly connecting dots? Just look at their titles and place of occupation. The timeline is wild. Amy Escridge was working on anti-gravity. General McCaslin is still allegedly missing. He just walked out of his house without his phone or his glasses. What is going on, you guys?
I have a theory on the missing scientists, and it's going to tie so many things together, okay? I just saw a report that they were all involved with the rods of God, okay? Which is a theoretical weapon system where you drop weapons from like way up in space. The main thing holding them back from that system was that it was too expensive to keep getting the rods up there every time you needed to use one. But we just sent a whole ship up to space, and we went to the other side of the moon so nobody could see us. Because you know, there's a country that isn't real that's really close to Iran, and if we were to drop a mushroom cloud on that country, it would like float over, right? And they don't want that. But this would keep it more targeted, and I think it's like way bigger. Like it's really worse. And then this would explain like the drones that we had last year surely was some type of test, because the northern lights kept happening then, and the same science they've been working on that is related to this is like how the northern lights is created is the same like process that is related to nuclear fission, right? So what if they were creating those northern lights to see if they could create the energy that they needed for the rods of God, and then they went up to space to put it up there, and that's why they have the Space Force. And we have that major big aspect that shows like something we've never seen before coming in July that looks like it's like kind of related to a mushroom cloud, but also like way bigger. This feels like this is what everything has been leading us to, and the whole alien story that surely that's going to be some type of cover for whatever, like, oh no, there's an alien up there, we have to, you know.
So now David Wilcock is dead. A day after they found Nick Pope dead as well. Just one by one, dropping like flies. And these are current deaths. Not like Ning Lee, who died in 2021, or Amy Escridge, who died a few years back. No, these are current, yesterday and the day before. Just one after the other, one after the other. What are we missing? What are we missing? What are we missing? Because there's people who are coming out and saying, well, there's nothing that you can do. There's no connections between the deaths. I mean, one was shot, one OD'd, one is missing, one was in a car accident. And it just makes me hope that these people don't have kids, because it's not about what doesn't add up. It's about what does, right? What does connect all of them? Their research, their work, the disclosure aspect, the releasing information aspect, and how it's all happening at once. And in every single case, their phones were factory reset and their computers were wiped, research gone. And yes, Ning Lee was in a car accident in 2014. But do you mean to tell me after you get in a car accident with someone, do you go over to their phone and factory reset it, then go to their house and wipe their computer clean of all their research and take whatever's there with you? If you get in a fight on a college campus and you shoot and kill someone, do you then factory reset their phone at the scene, then go back to their house and wipe their computer clean? Yeah, you do, if you're working for the right fucking people. But other than that, no. Hello? No. And as far as this whole investigation goes with Trump putting out this thing because he wants to do an investigation, we don't need it. We don't want it, and we don't fucking need it. The Spider-Man meme. You did it, and you're all the same fucking person. Listen, I'm done. We don't need their help with disclosure. We don't need their help with a fucking thing. Because we don't need that for people to believe that this shit is real. People are literally dying. People are fucking dying, Kim. Okay? You're worried about your earring in the fucking ocean, and there's people that are dying. But yeah, now David Wilcock is dead.
Y'all know all those scientists that are missing from the high-tech military base? I think there's up to 5 of them now, including that McCaslin guy. That's the only name I know off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I didn't look it up before I turned on the camera. They're not missing. They're not missing. No, they got called up. They're on wherever they, like, where they're going to hunker down. You know what I mean? Like, where the command center, CENTCOM for whatever's coming. They're not missing. That's why they're not looking for them. That's why there isn't a big effort. This McCaslin guy, his brain has got to be exceedingly valuable. You would think all these people that he was working for, because I guess he was consulting for other people and stuff. I mean, big, expensive companies. You really think that they are not going to, if he was legitimately missing, that they wouldn't go look for, he's not missed. They're not missing. They're just not missing. I would put a crisp $20 bill on that one. They're not missing. I do not feel them missing. They're not missing. They're not dead. They're just, they got called to whatever command center, wherever they're setting up to prepare for whatever it is that is about to happen. And it could really, you could roll the dice, whether it's going to be the sun, whether it's going to be the war, whether it's going to be a fake alien invasion. I don't know, but you couldn't talk me into being fearful. That would not happen. But I think they just went and got ready for whatever this and whatever they're going to do at the end of the show before they pull the curtain.
What's that? Oh, Amy Escridge, one of the 11 scientists that are either missing and or passed away under mysterious circumstances, was making videos about certain things that were going on in her life that she knew something was coming. What? Tell me more! Yeah, she made several videos talking about how she knew people were following her because she had information involving zero gravity. She had one of the best brains involved in zero gravity, thus making her high risk to certain people that didn't want her to have access to this information. So she made several videos describing certain weird things that were happening in her life at least 12 months before her passing. So there were several signs that something was coming and she knew. She said people followed her all the time. People showed up at bars all the time. She was drugged several times at bars. She found a tracker on her vehicle. And then she passes away under mysterious circumstances. What?
My life is in danger, found dead at 34, becomes 11th mysterious case. Amy Escridge did not work for the government. She worked for her own company.
The day after she, herself, her institute is shut down and the webpage is taken off the internet. Exotic Sciences Institute, also known as...
Okay, the Gravity Research Institute?
Yep.
She was working on anti-gravity.
This was during a podcast. If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you, they will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news. That's why the Institute exists. With Amy, what was interesting was there was no police report of her self-inflicted gunshot, no autopsy, and rapid cremation was ordered. I just wanted to make note that she is dealing with NASA a lot in what she's doing. They even did pull back in 2020. She was going to be planning to present novel foundational work regarding anti-gravity, but she needed approval from NASA.
It gets to things that defy gravity, and you wonder where the technology comes from and if it was emanated from things that are not of this earth that we're in possession of. It gets weird, but it is a real physics concept and something that there's a lot of people who believe, and believe they have some evidence with it as well, that we do have it.
So right now, as we speak, people are discovering that David Wilcock, the UAP researcher from Ancient Aliens, is the 12th person surrounding disclosure to be missing or unalived. They're saying it was from self-deletion. However, 2 or 3 days ago on X, he was posting ironically about the missing UAP researchers and how he thought it was suspicious. So most people right now are coming to this conclusion that these people with high-level secret information are being taken out, that they're being plucked to protect a narrative. I'm starting to think it might be something else entirely. We know that these people that have access to sensitive, classified information have signed NDAs. Most of them have signed NDA contracts that last 20 to 30 years. These same people have been pushing for disclosure for decades. Okay, the technology that's being hidden behind these NDAs, we should have had free energy, no more power lines, teleportation technology decades ago. This is Tesla tech. This has been around for 100 years. But certain people at the top don't want it to get out. I think some of these people, some of these scientists may have found a loophole, because you can't be in breach of a binding contract if you are unalived on paper. I can't say the word for it. But if you are no longer alive, you are not held to a contract. I'm starting to think that these scientists and these researchers may have taken an alternate route. I think they may have discovered that they are way more powerful in the disclosure movement if they exit the world stage. That's just my take on it.
It is now being reported that another UFO researcher, David Wilcock, has passed away on April 20th, 2026 at age 53. This now makes it number 12 of the researchers and scientists who have passed away or gone missing. David Wilcock was also a New York Times best-selling author, always on the show Ancient Aliens. He also stated many times that he loved his life and planned on living. And the day before he unalived, he said this on his podcast.
Every day that I have on Earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that, because frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary. I got to say, it's a little bit scary, but you guys knew that I might still show up even though it was last minute and I've had a really rough week. Like, you know, that's kind of like every week, but somehow we keep on making it through all of this.
And it gets even more weird because Nick Pope, who was also on Ancient Aliens, passed away 2 weeks before David Wilcock. Also, David Wilcock's biographer, Win Free, passed 2 days before David Wilcock on April 18th. All of these researchers and scientists who are ending up not alive anymore or missing just isn't adding up. Call it a coincidence if you want, but now it's 12 in a row.
12 missing scientists tied to NASA, UFOs, the nuclear program. Let's talk about the craziest case, Amy Escridge, working on experimental science that could have changed the world. She warned people that someone was after her. Let's take a listen.
If I sit down at a bar by myself, some dude will come, like some 50-year-old dude will come and sit next to me. I didn't drink enough to be this drunk. What's happening? What's happening? Why am I so messed up? And then all of a sudden the people at the bar around me are like, what do you do for a living? Tell us, do you work for the government? What do you do? You're sitting there at your laptop. It looks cool. Tell us what you're doing. And I'm like, hey, you didn't ask me that until I suddenly was disoriented.
Amy was a researcher. She studied chemistry and biology at the University of Alabama. She worked in engineering and physics. She co-founded the Institute for Exotic Science, a group focused on pushing experimental scientific ideas out into the open. What she worked on was simple but massive in scope, a way to change how objects move, supposedly anti-gravity devices. If it's real, it would completely change transportation and aerospace engineering, and possibly bankrupt some very powerful people in the process. In 2020, she said she was preparing to release her research but needed approval tied to NASA before going public. At the same time, her tone started to shift. She said the pressure around her work was escalating. She was saying cryptic things like she needed to publish soon or things would keep getting worse for her personally. And then she was no more. They said it was her own doing based on how they found her. After that, her institute's website disappeared. Her research never fully came out, and people online started connecting her case to a broader pattern. Other high-level researchers, different fields, all gone under unclear circumstances. No clear explanation, just her own words on record. She needed to get her discoveries out before she couldn't anymore. Do you think her disappearance is connected to the 11 other missing scientists I covered in part 1? Let me know. Also, shout out to Nick here for putting me onto this story.
It's being reported and posted all over social media that another UFO researcher has passed away. David Wilcock, right here, who I remember from the TV show Ancient Aliens, is that UFO researcher that it's being reported has passed away. Now, this story is kind of rough, and there's not a lot of confirmation, but there is some. So all over social media and a couple of news articles I found, it said that David Wilcock, right here, who I believe was 53 years old, took his own life yesterday, April 20th, 2026. And there are reports of police going to his house, his confirmed residence, and finding a body of a man described as David Wilcock, who had taken his own life yesterday. Now, like I said, I used to watch him on Ancient Aliens, but I hadn't heard much about David Wilcock in the past 5 or 6 years or so. If this story is true, and it really looks like it is, because of the police reports of something going on at his house and the body of someone described as him being found, he's another person connected to UFO research who has just passed away tragically in the past couple of months and even the past few years. It took a while for me to post this story because I wanted to get as much information as possible to get as close to confirming it as I could, but it looks like David Wilcock, UFO researcher, passed away yesterday on April 20th and that he took his own life. Okay, Booshkies, till next time, Shabadoo.
Okay, so that is it for this video. And I want to know, what do you all think is going on? Okay. Again, I just found out that the other two people, scientists who were on Ancient Aliens, are not here. They said that his writer is not here, and other people missing, a few billionaires, I don't have that video, all passed away in May or June of 2025, and so much stuff. We just know that something's going on. We don't all have the answers. We don't know if an asteroid or a comet is coming, or if alien disclosure is about to happen, if they really have made contact, if they are time travelers, if they're underground. We don't know, but we do know that something's up. I want to know, what do you think that it is? Because again, there are a lot of different opinions about what it could be. Okay, so that is it for today's video. please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell and click all notifications and let me know what you think is happening. Okay, and if there are more scientists we see very soon wiped off the planet or missing, you know. But what is it? Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell and click all notifications. And I will talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.